In From the Depths, there are three major ways of playing the game. You can build your ships on the water itself, you can build a submarine going underneath the water, and of course you can be in the air with planes, hovercraft, airships, all sorts of different vehicles. However, there is actually a fourth way of designing your vehicle, and this is in space itself. The game does have a seldom used space system in which, after a certain altitude, you suddenly have no gravity and no drag from the air. Well, actually, you do have a little bit of drag because the game balances it that way, but very, very little. It is a true space experience. Now, the reason why you don't see this very much is because it is incredibly powerful. You don't need much engine power up there, lots of vehicles can't see you or even attack you, and it's kind of the game on easy mode, or at least that's what I believe. So I've never really done a run in space itself. So today, that's exactly what we're doing. We're going into the adventure mode, getting to space as soon as possible since you can't actually spawn there, and then staying there for the rest of the game. So can you beat From the Depths while remaining only in space? Only exiting space to go through red portals, because sadly red portals don't spawn up there, but I'll just send a shuttlecraft to do that, so the main vehicle will never for a second leave space once it's up there. If it does, then the run is simply over. So, into the adventure mode, building our first ever space rocket. And so our space journey begins, admittedly mostly in the water for now. So what we need to do as soon as possible is actually get into space itself. So the way we're going to do that is just with the ion jets, because those work both in space and in just the regular air, and we also need lots of PIDs to make sure our rocket is stable. As soon as we get to space, then we need to be able to control our altitude, so these jets need to face both up and down. And as you can see, they're really expensive, so this entire starter section is just going to be just me trying to build a really cheap space rocket. So one thing I'm going to do, which I never end up doing, is I'm going to use my vehicle as a sub-object. So it does have to be this vehicle, because if your starter vehicle dies, you die as well. That is really weird looking. So let's just change the elevation. There we go. Lovely. That way we can launch properly. So now this is being held by this tiny little mini fortress I've just built, which is just a single fortress turbine and an RTG attached to an engine. So now we can start converting this into our rocket. So the final version, I actually want to be able to control itself in space and target the enemy with the entire craft moving. I've seen this from a Scarlet Dawn craft before. I have no idea how that's done. It's going to be a really fun thing to do, but for now, we just want to make sure we can actually get to space. So this thing's going to move fairly stably. Now, how do you make something look like a rocket? I actually have no idea, because I've never built something like that in From the Depths. I do have a vague idea what rockets look like, however, so I'm going to be building a big tube with fins, and then the fins will contain the control thrusters, so we don't end up just spiraling out of control and crash landing back in the water. Okay, so for the time being, we have two sets of boosters which we can remove once we're actually in space, and then we can decide how we want this craft to really be built. So we can either turn it into a satellite, so it stays vertical like this. Again, it doesn't really matter in terms of air resistance when there is no air. Or we could turn it into more of a battleship or something like that, which would be really interesting looking in space. Like a proper space battleship. But I'm not too sure which one I want to go with, to be completely honest. So for now, we're going to stick with the satellite idea because it'll be easier. So once we get to space, I'll dismantle these two side sections and I'll build kind of arms instead with the resources, and then we can start adding all of our forward, backwards and sideways controls, and it'll be fairly simplistic. Then I've got to figure out what kind of weapon I can use. A laser will be able to hit things on the ground nice and easily, but it won't be particularly powerful at this stage of the game. Missiles could potentially work, though they would be a little bit difficult as well. Cram cannons are definitely out. Railguns are probably the end game, along with particle cannons. Ooh, or maybe plasma. I didn't even think about plasma. Yeah, plasma, particle cannons, and lasers are probably the three we're going to go with the most. Or we could completely sacrifice everything and make a super railgun, but this will be the late game. Well, nothing else really to do, honestly. I would like to make this thing look better, but honestly, we don't really have much more time. The enemies have already spawned in, so this is just what it's going to be. Whoa, that is way faster than I expected. Okay, these should be turning off soon. Okay, why are they still going? Bad. Something has gone horribly wrong. We are getting way too high up. Though that is pretty cool. Even if it does look a bit weird. Okay, now it should be working okay. I essentially set up the altitude PID to send us upwards forever. So I've got the chair here just so we can test if we are actually in space. I'm going to 1,500 meters above the average water level. And we are in space. As you can see, I'm not falling, which means gravity is at 0 in the game right now. Lovely. I actually don't know what altitude space is in this game, but clearly this is enough. So with that, we no longer need these giant thrusters. And we can get to work making a small satellite system. We're probably high enough right now. We're not really under threat by the early game enemies. A few of them have very small advanced cannons. Most of them have tiny little missiles. Yeah, like that. That thing simply can't hit us while we're in space. So what we're going to do is build a quick platform, then everything in that tube is going to be replaced on top, and then we can actually make this thing look like how I want it to look in my head. Close enough. I think I actually just misplaced that by 1, but you know what? It's close enough, and I'm absolutely fine with it. Okay, so this is going to be our little staging ground for everything. I think I might change the paint colour, though. Being this high up, it's kind of really shiny. To the point where it's a bit blinding to build with. Also, gathering from resource zones is going to be really awkward, so I think I'm going to have to install an AI for movement very soon. I mean, I'll have to have an AI for movement anyway, since what I want is the whole craft to face the enemy if we're a satellite, and that's not going to be possible at the moment. Am I going crazy, or is that resource zone over there much bigger than the one we started with? Like, visually. Or is this just a trick of perception? No, this one looks massive. Why is that one so big? Also, why is there 2 resource zones already? Well, I do want to gather resource, so we have incredibly basic controls now. Oh, there we go. Nope, stop. Yeah, trying to stop in space, not the easiest. Again, this is why we need AI controls, because, yeah, manual controlling in space is actually incredibly fiddly. Really missed that drag. This is going to be what I see for many hours. Don't worry, I won't be putting all this in the video, but just know that, yeah, this is my life now for the next week or so. Okay, so a simple 2-axis turret on the bottom, and we can easily hook up a laser system as our first weapon. Now, admittedly, as you can see, this is doing no damage, but this was just a quick test. Now, lasers do lose damage over distance. But still, this should be fine. I doubt those missiles are ever going to reach us. Ooh, they're going to come close, though. Look at that. Okay, we need to actually up this weapon system right now. Again, ignore the mess. This is a testing ground at the moment. It's basically a lab. And now, as someone who is actually a trained scientist, I can confirm labs are this messy, especially when I'm in charge of one. So, let's continue. We are officially being hit. That's better, much more damage per shot. We can quickly disable that thing's weapon, hopefully. Still not great, though. Yeah, need to really work on that weapon. Okay, good. Its weapon is gone, so it is no longer a threat. Wow, that weapon is so weak. So this is the basic weapon, really. The laser is definitely the easiest of the options, but smoke defense is so common later on, it might not be the best idea. Okay, that's a lot better. Just need more pumps. Oh, why am I not collecting that resource? Am I not counted as being close enough? Okay, how about you, tiny one? Well, I'm manually firing, the laser's also... Okay, good, so I can definitely collect from space. I was honestly concerned then for a second. Oh, that way's forward. Okay, we need to start making this thing look like either a spaceship or a proper functioning satellite, because at the moment I can't tell the front from the back of this weird Oreo of death. Okay, gave it... Wow, there are so many resource zones. Don't worry, I'll only be taking this one before going to the red portal and making our little shuttle. So either way, I've gave it the ability to strafe. I've been testing out different AI, and honestly, I'm not too happy with them so far, so I think I'm going to build this up a little bit more, then try again a little bit later. It's not too difficult to get this thing to stay still. Now we have the ability to strafe and everything else, so that's fine. What we need to do now, though, is squish everything down so things aren't so exposed, make sure there's at least a layer of armor all over, and give us a basic design to work off. At the moment, I'm kind of going halfway between a satellite and a starcraft, and I'll make my choice a bit later. Having to run from place to place at the moment, our weapon systems are offline. I've now got enough distance, though, so I've stopped again. We're near a red portal. The good thing is, in space, without that drag of the air and everything else, we can start moving fairly quickly. Okay, so I'm going to add a functional weapon system and then rush to a red portal. I'm not sure if I can manually descend to it or I really do need to build a shuttle already. But either way, we can definitely go through the red portal. Actually, now I think about it, I think my craft has to go through the portal. I don't think a secondary craft can. Have to test that out. Please work. Ah, you see, this is an issue. So, this is a little shuttlecraft that is quickly threw together in like 5 minutes, and yeah, I can't use it to go through red portals. So, there is a way around this, and it's awkward as all sin. What we need to do is turn the original craft into this shuttlecraft. Then turn this craft into the spaceship itself, which means if the shuttlecraft dies, I lose. But it's the only way we can stay in space without causing the entire spaceship to enter the atmosphere every single time we want to change difficulty, which ruins the entire run. This is going to be super awkward. Also, I'm quite happy with this little thing I've made. It's just a big bundle of functional components, but my god, is it easy to use, which is lovely. In fact, I think I can control its altitude. No, I can't permanently control its altitude. It does try to go down to 50, which actually is kind of what we want. So, how am I going to do this then? Create a third vehicle. Currently there's no enemies, am I right? Or at least no one nearby. Good. Create a third vehicle, which is a creator vehicle, so loads of the repair tentacles. Retrofit this into a version of the craft up top, then when it's close and out of resources, swap them over. This is going to be so dumb and so awkward. So rebuilding our satellite, now we should be able to change difficulty manually by using the shuttle, which can easily be dropped into the atmosphere and then recollected by the satellite. Nice, okay, so this thing descends fairly quickly out of space, which is exactly what we want. I'm hoping this single thruster here will be enough to float us. If not, I'll have to add some more. We're about to find out. It should be resting at 50 altitude, so it should kick in any second now, and good. There we are, a super easy to use little craft, which we can upgrade later once we have some more resources. Time to go to difficulty 5. Oh, okay, I was just about to install some more laser systems. I've just quickly added a basic detection system, which is working, for the most part, by the looks of things. Yep, we can indeed slowly burn off really basic pieces of wooden armor. Yeah, clearly still need to work on the laser system though. We've been hit. That thing can very likely hit us. It is the Wander, I think, so it should have a decent cannon. Stop still where you are, please. Reverse. Try and stay above it. Once we have AI controls, if we stay like a satellite, I will try and get above targets for the most part, because that will deactivate a lot of different weapons. For now, though, that laser is just tickling them. Well, it melted through it eventually, which is good, because apparently it did hit our main craft. The non-satellite. Oh, yeah, definitely a good hit on it. Yeah, this thing needs to be protected, because that's quite expensive. So, one thing we could also use is missiles. I believe missiles just work in space anyway, but also I want to make them look a bit like photon torpedoes, if possible, because I think that'll be fun. So I've just made a little custom skin, which is basically just a smaller steam boiler, which we can add some more to, and I've attached sticky flares. Kind of works, actually. Okay, that looks alright. Definitely needs some more work, and then custom smoke with the yellow after it. So, yeah, these do in fact work straight from space. I'm just shooting them down straight away, though, so they instantly enter the atmosphere, and boop. They're not exactly devastating missiles at the moment. Ooh, see, this is kind of how I want them to look, actually. Yeah, I need to do some custom work on them. So what I'm thinking is a barrage of large missiles eventually, which we open the fight with, and then moving over to the other weapons as our main weapons. Because that's cool, right? I think that's cool. As soon as I find a red portal, I'm going right through it into difficulty 10. I think there was one near the start, but I kind of ignored it. To difficulty 10 we go. In difficulty 10, and the first things we see are a Shrike, a Lightning Hood's Craft, which seems to be already quite damaged, and a Jacob's Treehouse. That is you, right? Which is firing at me, I now realise.
Engaging now.
Changed our laser over to a pulse laser, but honestly right now what we need is just bigger engines. We can't feed the laser enough. Right now, yeah, all of our engine power is being used by this, and it's not quite enough. On the upside, each shot is taking out a couple of chunks. Still nowhere near strong enough, though. Hopefully that isn't actually hitting us. As soon as they start using advanced cannons or much longer range missiles, then we're going to have some serious problems. Yeah, that's not doing anywhere near enough. Now, admittedly, the treehouse is fairly chunky, just lots of wooden armor to chew through, but yeah, without manual firing at weak spots, that's not doing great. Still approaching 100,000 damage, though. But manual fire is the reason why lasers are so good. We can take out all of its weapons fairly easily. I say fairly easily. The accuracy is still pretty poor, even with all those barrels. I think that's all the weapons that could possibly shoot me, so I should move on to whatever's next. We just really need to upgrade this weapon before anything else. We're already quite low on armor and everything else, just more weapons, more engine power, desperately. I'm trying to build Wonder. Ooh, red portal, perfect. But still, trying to build. As is usual with these playthroughs, I am a bit more expensive than I want to be at this stage, so I'm going to rush right towards that red portal over there, go straight through it, taking me to 15, ignoring the resources from the recently felled enemies and the resource zones themselves. I have changed up the weapon a little bit, just 'cause I think this looks a lot better with the 2 barrels rather than 1. I'll make most of the barrels invisible in a moment, and what I'm going to do is add 2 larger thrusters to the back rather than these little tiny ones, because that would look way better to have that in the centre. Let's grab that resource I just dropped though, shall we? And to 15 we go. Okay, so we've been in difficulty 15 for a while. I killed 1 single nuke enemy, which took literally 1 shot, and I've changed up the back section quite a lot. So now we have 2 of the huge ion thrusters per side. We'll definitely have more of those in the future, and I've also changed up our engines. Now, the reason why it looks like we have so much more resource is because A, the nuke enemy was apparently very expensive, but also I've started to remove the RTGs. This is something I never really do in the adventure mode, and it's something I need to start doing more. So for those who are unaware, the RTGs generate energy for free, but are very expensive to place and to repair. So it's kind of pros and cons. They're very heavy, they take up lots of space, they're very expensive to put down, but unlimited free energy as long as you can keep them safe. I don't really need that so much in space. Right now, as you can see, we're using almost no resource whatsoever just to keep ourselves balanced, which I do need to fix up by the looks of things, and I've added more to the back section, and that's it. Even when we're moving, it's not that expensive with our new fuel engines, so that's kind of what we're moving towards. Ooh, we have an enemy that can fire at us. Let's fire back. Now we have the much better engines, though. Our laser system should be capable of firing at full power for a lot longer. Is that thing the glaive? I remember fighting that in a previous run. No, it's not. It's certainly not. The Outlaw. Okay, and it's actually more expensive than us. Firing lots of flares, and I do wonder if those missiles are going to hit us. Yeah, we still need a bigger laser system, but at least now we can do that. Now we have enough engine power to fuel it. Our laser system is kind of tiny. Almost all of our resources is in armor and our engine power at the moment. Look at the speed we're moving with our engines off. Yay for no drag. I'm starting to think maybe plasma would have been a better first weapon. Didn't really want to use missiles because I use those too much, at least in the early game. Yeah, I mean, we are taking off chunks. Look at that confetti it's leaving behind. It's just not quite enough still. We just need more. But again, now we have better engines, and we're moving in more towards fuel engines and perhaps even steam engines in the future. We can really ramp up our lasers now. Our little phasers. Please stop going after the Outlaw. This thing is actually hitting us. Ooh. I know I've seen you before, but I did not remember the sunfish looking like that. I just want a manual fire for once. It's surprisingly difficult to hit a single block. Oh, yep, there it goes. It's now tipping over. To be fair, I think it was just using flak weaponry, which definitely isn't going to pierce through our armor very well. I've just realised how much like a face this front is. It's like a derpy turtle. So I've just increased the damage of the... Whoa. Yep, I've increased the damage of the laser now. It's about 3 times as powerful as it used to be. We're still gathering resource, though this is why I always end up with too much. So, once again, let's release the little shuttle. Let's get on the little shuttle. Let's move around a little bit, and let's get into that red portal, please. You, on, into the atmosphere we go. Okay, that is really cool. Being down here, being able to turn on the laser and just seeing that happen is really neat. However, I'll now make it disappear. Difficulty 20. Oh, that's plasma. Okay, well that's definitely something which can hit us. Plasma is quick moving, and I don't believe it's affected by space at all. Oh, what a cute thing. Look at that, that's so cool. How has it done that paint job? Oh, that's just metal plate. I am stealing that. So that's just metal plating, which is like a really thin piece of metal you can put over normal blocks. That is super neat. Having a weirdly tough time seeing this thing, it seems. There we go. Little custom looking missiles there. Oh, yep, those missiles are on a collision course and direct hits. Wow, even with the increased damage, the laser is just not living up to its expectations. Saying that, though, it looks like the enemy is struggling a bit now. Okay, that was EMP damage, I think. Yep, it's knocked out our automatic controls. That's fine. I'll just swap over to manual. I don't really have any surge protectors yet, I'm now realising, so good wake-up call before I add way more AI stuff. Oh, steam engine's venting. And that's this craft in the water. Goodbye. The Faraday, that was. What a really cool craft. 110,000 resource, though. And yeah, kind of felt like it. It doesn't look that big, but so expensive in terms of the parts. It's messed up my PID a bit. Okay, good to know. Slow down, and let's fix up some stuff and add some surge protectors. Okay, we've added some large missiles. I'll do some proper decorations on those soon. We've added a lot more armor to pretty much everything. We've changed the actual armor scheme itself in terms of its paint color. And of course, we've pledged allegiance to Tzeentch, the Lord of Change and the Father of Lies and Deception, the Great Conspirator and the Bringer of Fortune. So with that, it's time to go to difficulty 25. Apparently we're not allowed to leave this difficulty just yet. That's a rook over there, one of the flying enemies from, I think it's the Onyx Watch? Also, wow, our laser is a lot better than it used to be. I want to see if I can make this thing tip over. There we go. Now where are our missiles? Dink! Now, if you would allow me to actually go to the red portal so I can stop harvesting all the resource, that would be wonderful. At the moment, the drone is still way too weak to send down while there's still enemies around. Honestly, I doubt I can ever send it down while there's enemies around, because as the difficulty increases, things which can one-shot it are going to increase more and more and more. This is the creepiest water I have ever seen. That just quite literally looks like frothy blood. Oh, there's an enemy over there. Well, hopefully the laser system will be able to weaken it enough and actually get its attention that we can just go straight to this portal. Yeah, the burst of our laser is a lot better than it used to be. We need more engines, though, to make it more sustained. I don't know what weapon to add next. Either keep increasing the power of the laser, add some plasma, or continue to add more missiles. Either way, difficulty 25. The enemy here in difficulty 25 is the guillotine. Oh, lovely. Look at that. Took out all of its movement in that first shot. Where did the other missile go? Maybe got shot down, not too sure. Still, 250,000 damage already done by the lasers. I'm just going to chill here where the missile landed. Actually, no, I'm not. What we need is some anti-missile systems very soon, which the laser could turn into. We could instead go for more plasma. Like I was saying before, I don't think the laser system is going to be our final weapon, so we could just repurpose it to take out missiles. Oh. What did I hit? I just started to... Oh, because smoke doesn't instantly activate, so once it wore off, I must have just hit something really vital. I added a tiny little plasma gun into the main turret because I just wanted to do some damage, but apparently I didn't really need to this time around. Oh, it's low materials. I must have instantly hit its material store. Okay. Well, that worked out. I swear I'll try and make this look a bit more spacecraft-like in the future. So I've just removed some of the stuff, so we have 30,000 resources left. I've balanced a load of the thrusters, I've changed the engines up a little bit, and I've now got loads of space to build, including this nice little see-through section. So the question is now, what should our main secondary weapon be? Well, eventually our main weapon in general, we'll still stick with the laser for now, even if the enemy do tend to have smoke defenses. But we do need something to break through those smoke defenses, and I'm thinking we could set up a series of small plasma cannons using the AA mantlet upside down, because the maximum elevation is 90. If it's upside down, that means we can point pretty much directly down, so as long as they're on turrets, we can still aim pretty much anywhere. The problem is they're quite expensive, and bigger ones do tend to do more efficient damage than the smaller variants. But I do love plasma, and it would fit with the space theme very, very well. Let's see if I can make a couple of tiny little cannons. So, this Kingstead was targeting a different enemy who I was attacking before. It's now in the ocean, and the Kingstead is just not targeting me at all. It did for a second, then changed his mind. So, I'm fine with that. We can keep building because we're apparently just not worth its time. We could go something like this. It's a bit dumb. These are really weak plasmas. But we can put them pretty much anywhere. That's the turret size. It's absolutely nothing. They do about 6,000-7,000 per little volley like that. The shots are incredibly quick, so they hit even at long range pretty easily, and cause just a little splattering of damage. Really should catch up with that now I'm looking at that. So let's full speed ahead, please. I do quite like that. Rather than having just a single stronger plasma gun, loads of these things everywhere, just as a space filler more than anything. Okay, thanks to the Kingstead, we had enough resources to do this. So we have 4 absolutely tiny turrets on the front, which I just think look nice, and then we have a major turret, which is capable of sustained fire at a very, very good fire rate. So these shots are terrible. They're incredibly weak. Oh yeah, also need more heat sinks, I'll do it in a second. But they're very, very quick, and will hit the target even if they're dodging quite a lot. So it's just consistent small damage, similar to the laser. We still don't really have any good burst damage, but that'll do for now. A lot of consistent, very hard to dodge damage. But yeah, what I need to do is more heat sinks, because the reason why that was getting so inaccurate is because it was losing its accuracy because of overheating. We also need more energy production, so as much as I want to go away from RTGs, I think I need a few just to replenish energy between fights. I don't really want to use fuel and steam engines to refill batteries. We can do that, it's absolutely fine, I just don't want to. Every time I try to go to the next area, I always end up under attack. Also, you're definitely firing at the wrong enemy there. That thing can't attack our little drone. You are very cool.
Engaging now.
Please get melted. Might not have actually needed to attack it, honestly. We're almost there. Okay, 50,000 damage from the plasma burst. That's okay, I guess. And difficulty 30. First enemy in difficulty 30. Looks like it's hurt itself. I did not fire a shot yet. Just trying to position myself a little bit better before I fire everything. Okay, so I've changed the plasma. The plasma now fires a bolt of every single charge possible. So this green one is actually 60 charges, which means it's very, very, very painful if it hits. Which it didn't by the looks of things. Nope, the orange ones did though. Yay for that at least, and of course we do have our lasers. Would have been nice if the first fight actually had a hit with that weapon, but it's going to take a long time to charge up. We don't really have the engine power. It's what we need to upgrade desperately next. No more weapons, just more engines and more battery storage. Oh, we did fire again. And missed again! It should be just as accurate as the others, but I'm just getting unlucky, I think. It should hit for like 60,000. Oh, is that shield protecting from the laser? It might be. Might hold off. There we go! Nice chunk there from the green shot. Okay, hold off for a second. This thing is more expensive than I remember. Such a cool design, like this globe in the middle. How did they do these lines, I wonder? Like, what piece of material is that? Like fuel pipe, maybe? Still really cool. Well, it got a few shots off. I think it hit us once, but then it decided to go directly underneath us where it can't shoot. The strength of space. I will say the plasma shots are incredibly satisfying when you watch them go off. Which should happen soon. There we go. That's some proper space attacks. The laser will eventually just become our anti-munition system. I imagine plasma, railguns and everything else are now very much on the horizon. So I've ran into the issue again of we're too expensive for where we are. We're currently in difficulty 30, I'm struggling to get to red portals, and we're constantly under attack by enemies like this, which give us a lot of resource quite easily. I mean, that's a pretty cool kill. I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm not even gonna collect that resource, I'm just gonna continue. I don't want to go through a blue portal, that'll take me too far. Difficulty 50 would be way too much. Difficulty 50's average is 379,000, which is way too much for us. I just need a couple of red portals. Ooh, what are you? Fire at the big un! I do love plasma. It's not efficient in terms of the cost, but my god is it fun. Look at that, just a huge chunk gone. Ooh, ooh, how do you do that? I didn't expect cake. Well, that is incredibly cool. What is this? The Peacekeeper. Well, it's more expensive than us, and it looks gorgeous. I'm assuming a lot of its attack is in these adorable little death blimps. Okay, just auto-fire, I guess, or whatever you want. Yeah, the lasers are going to be a big problem for those little things.
Engaging now.
This is why we need munition defense. I keep forgetting I have missiles. Are those anti-munition missiles just regular? I'm assuming regular. There goes our missiles, kind of just dodging them. Was I in range for these? We're about to find out. Yes, we was. How are we doing? Because there's no way we're not taking those hits. There they come. Oof, all hitting the same spot. Nasty, but we're taking it pretty well, actually. Being able to armor up the bottom almost exclusively makes us very defensive. You knocked out my laser! That's one of the little ones as well. Didn't expect that. Well, this went from a guaranteed victory to actually a problem. Start moving a bit quicker. They seem to only like firing at us when they're directly underneath us. So what's scarier now, the missiles or the cram? Honestly, the cram is also easy to take out, so
Engaging now.
swap targets for all the plasma, please. Ooh, we are tilting. Big time. Okay, stop moving. There goes one. These things are also more expensive than I imagined. Interesting. Perfect. Okay. Both of those are down. Still haven't got our laser system, but that's fine. Okay, back to shooting at the bigger target now, since this one is... I'd say it's pretty much down for the count. Okay, there goes AI dead. That was such a fun fight, and scarily close, honestly. Love all the mimic work in here, though. Mad respect for that. Seriously, the creators of all the designs for the campaign and the adventure mode need to be commended. Just, it's all so cool. Goodbye, Peacekeeper. Still a couple of enemies. I think one of them might just be one of the drones, yeah. I think I should be able to hit that through the water. Since it's not too far down. Perfect. Good. Good. We need more engines, desperately, and also more armor around our turrets, clearly. Well, that's a particle cannon firing at us, so we are now in difficulty at 35. Once again, we'll be going for a red portal as soon as possible. We definitely need to increase the difficulty further. There's the plasma. Oh, yep, the plasma definitely got the job done this time around. You can tell I haven't been upgrading the laser since I want to eventually retire it into only defense, because it's starting to get less useful now. Plasma, on the other hand, is doing pretty well, considering it's only got one decently sized gun. So right now, we look like this. We're a big, chunky thing. Honestly, we could go very Star Trek now, very easily, by adding some nacelles. But I'm okay with this, even if the front does look a bit like a weird face with two eyes. You cannot unsee it now. So all of those cannons are fairly small ones. They're only firing 8 charges each, except for the main gun, which is firing 60 charges per shot. Still, gets the job done. Don't know what this thing was. Of course, it'd be way more expensive than it's showing here. 209, even with all that damage, is still pretty expensive. I imagine that's the particle cannons. It did hit us early on, but thankfully, we managed to disable it fairly quickly. Which is what our craft seems to be best at, just turning things off. Okay, yeah, it's way too much resource. I'm not going to even build or anything right now. I'm just going to ignore that resource, leave it there. People will yell at me. I'm just going to try and find a red portal ASAP. It's a lot of cram shots. What even is this? Oh, the crossbones! I didn't recognise it. Well, that thing's way more expensive than us. If we can get directly above it, though... Oh, we might actually go into the cram shots here. But if we can get directly above it, I think we can pretty much negate all those cram hits. The advanced cannons we'll just have to kind of deal with. Oh, this thing has so much health, though. It's what we're kind of the worst against. Just pure health. Yeah, it also has decent munition defense. Our missiles are not going to be useful here. Keep turning faster than I was. Oh, please don't hit me. Ow. Maybe I should start manually firing the plasma. If we can disable its guns, then of course we win, so... Change target, perhaps? Or maybe even just go for those advanced cannons. Well, stop firing, so I think it worked. I think it may have taken down... No, I'm just out of energy. Yeah, still not enough battery power, apparently. So much for me trying to rush to the next difficulty. Suddenly, godly Deepwater Guard. I think we've got it there. Just keep backing up so it keeps having to chase us so it can't use its back weapons. Well, looks like the crossbones have been completely disabled at this point, so it's just a matter of actually finishing this thing off. So now I'm going to just go full manual control and start aiming at these heavy armor sections because they're the things which have the ammo and the AI and all that other important stuff. Wasn't the most graceful victory, but it was a victory, but ow. Yeah, the cram cannons did hurt, but thankfully... only in the sections I hadn't really armoured up. This section mostly got away with it except for the missile. All the internals are still okay. Good to know I can survive a cram cannon to the butt. Oh dear. That smoke defense. This is the fission. Whoa, we did carve out the entire centerpiece. Oh, I think that's the mainframe! We were like one block off destroying its mainframe with that initial attack, but now the smoke defenses are up and that's going to be way more annoying. Though it seems like we have messed up something, since it can't figure out where to go anymore. Unless it's after another target, of course. Oh, goodbye to your jets. I'm going to just keep moving. I still want to find a red portal, thank you very much. So this thing appeared the second I entered difficulty 40, and it causes lag in my music when I'm too close. Yeah, it's like guns. Okay, so... just keep moving, I guess, since it's using, I think, cram? Either cram or not particularly fast advanced cannons. I didn't take a good look then, honestly, that's on me. Okay, our smoke defense to the shock of no one. Oh yeah, need to change the plasma back. I was testing out some stuff. Okay, the thing I'm going to do as soon as this fight's over is I'm finally turning my laser into a fully committed defense system. Where should I even be firing for this? I guess there. Nice, nice. I think that's the very front gun gone. Problem is now we're getting so close, we're going to be able to hit on the missiles and everything else. My thought process was, if we get close enough, we can counter the cram cannons at the front. But I've kind of melted one, the other one's damaged, so we can finish that one off as well. They are cram, right? I'm not going mad yet, okay. Didn't really think about all the smaller weapons at the back, though. So I'm going to back up instead. Change of plan. Let's keep using my laser as well. Just keep that smoke going so eventually they'll run out. Okay, that should do it for the cram. That thing is quick moving. Do we know exactly where I'm shooting? Just generally at the back section? Just keep on turning off weapons. That's the one thing we can do. Okay, I'm not sure what I've done, but I've definitely slowed them down. Oh yeah, they are tilting. We've caused some kind of internal problem. So although the plasma doesn't seem to do that much damage in the actual numbers, because they're all hitting kind of close together and back to back to back, it tends to make a small hole, then the rest of the plasma goes through, and you can see it just causes these pierce wounds, which is really good. Oh, I've took out the steam engine. Beautiful. Okay, that thing's going to go down by itself then, but there is something else spawning in to the side, and it's a sub. So subs, depending on how deep they are, can be a major problem for us. Lasers and plasma both lose damage the further underwater they go. What now? Don't know what that thing is, but I'm firing directly at its core. Now I'll go check what it is. It's a lot of shells. I'm hoping they're not particularly strong ones, because that's just a lot. This is the Warbird. Okay, I've opened it up. I guess I'll just keep firing at the same spot. Makes sense to me. Ooh, hello, missiles. I think. Oh no, they're just the shells! Oh, they're just the shells going past the camera really close. That's so weird to see. Can't tell if it's about to go into the water or it's just getting closer to us. It can be very difficult to tell from this perspective. Nope, there we go. Yay for an enemy which didn't have smoke defense. Okay, let's gather from that corpse, convert the laser into a defense weapon, and then up our engines again and start to decide on our final design. Right now, we're kind of a squished pancake. And pancakes are really pretty squished. So, I'm about to go into the sandbox mode, because I have way too much resource already. I do want to build right now. I can't find a red portal right now. I don't want to hoard even more resources. But one thing I could do for the final design is maybe go like this. Really focus on the kind of wing style, maybe like a manta ray, I don't really know, or a bird. And then focus on lots of small weapons on the wings. That way, it's quite difficult to completely disable the craft. And then we can re-chunk up the centerpiece and make it a lot higher and a lot lower, with all the vitals in the center, protected by shields and everything else. Or we could go full-on Star Trek and use what I've kind of made already, this blob in the center as the main body, add some proper sections to the sides and everything else, and kind of extend from there. I don't really know. But for now, sandbox mode. It's so weird seeing the blocks not really fly away because, you know, zero gravity. For now, sandbox mode, let's make the laser into a defense system and let's up our engines and plasma capabilities. Maybe some more missiles. Okay, the laser attacks the enemy, which I've just made immortal for a second. Until the missiles get too close, and then the laser turns into a defense system, and that is every missile? Yep, every missile being taken out. Fantastic. Now, that wasn't the scariest volley ever, but it certainly proves this works, and that's all I really needed to know. So that was really simple. All I've done is I've set up one of these all-in-one controllers, the defense version, and set this to the highest priority, which will fight over the control of the laser with a normal local weapon controller. So the enemy only gets attacked if cram or missiles are not present within 500 meters? I'm not sure exactly how far away, but that's all stuff we can tweak later. Perfect. And we can always add anti-missile missiles in the future, some interceptors if necessary. Okay, perfect. The laser system does in fact also work on cram. I've added a couple more of the small plasma because I like the small plasma even if they're not most efficient. I've also added 2 more engines. These will feed the battery, I've finally conceded. And all that's left now is to change up the armor a bit, make it... I'll decide on how we're going to make this thing look, because clearly what I've got at the moment is the center of the craft. What do I do with it? There you are, Larry. Finally found you. I need you to work on something else. Oh. Praising the algorithm, eh? Good for you. Likes and comments praise the algorithm. Back in the adventure mode, we're going to fully retrofit into our new form. Some more armor on top, which is pointless, but I like how it looks. Our new plasma and our changed lasers, in addition to better engines. Then we'll go right through a red portal. Just about to go to 45, we had 2 very quick fights, and I've decided I'm changing up the fuel engines. From now on, all of the fuel engines will start contributing to the battery power if our battery goes below 50%. Other than that, they're just there for backup power. Well, for the main power when all the engines and the lasers and everything else are turned on, because during those fights I realised I was draining way too much power, considering we still have some RTGs, so it's fine if the batteries drop a little bit. And entering the atmosphere. So we have a sub. Sadly that means I do need to have complete manual fire at the moment, because, well, we can't see it otherwise. We have no sonars. This happened earlier as well. Lovely. A lot of wasted power to do very small amounts of damage. This is why a railgun or a particle cannon would be really nice. I do feel bad for this Typhoon though. It hasn't fired once at us, so clearly we're out of range of it, so it's gonna lose slowly and painfully. Things like the Black Current later on, the much bigger subs, that might be a proper problem. Okay, another target. This time is using particle cannons and at least is not underwater. Oh, it wasn't underwater, now it is. Really, 2 subs back to back? Well, this one's actually firing at us, so clearly a much bigger threat. Thankfully, particle cannons are very easy to disable. Single pipe goes and the whole thing becomes dangerous to the craft that's using them. Are those missiles hitting us? Oh, they're just firing because they don't have any restraints. So if they have any restraints, it's just wasting ammo. Okie dokes. So I think that's both of them at least not able to shoot back at us. So it's just 3 of us not really able to hurt each other. Right. I'm just gonna move on then. Well, the other sub got destroyed because we flew directly over it, so our laser could just tear it apart. I'm just gonna fire the larger plasma at this thing. Eventually we'll score a victory, or it will simply run out of material, because that's a lot of missiles it's just lobbing at us constantly. Yeah, that's so weak underwater. What did I just hit? That's so many surge engines. That's pretty important for a sub. Yep, there it goes. Okay, that took absolutely ages, and technically it was a fight. Kind of. I sense the lag when we enter difficulty 50. So the very first enemy here is big. Okay, there's a lot of cannons. Manual fire might be needed here, because that's kind of horrifying. It's more expensive than us, and these are all... They're railguns, just regular advanced cannons, either way. Very, very scary. You know what? Nope, we'll allow the AI to deal with this. Let's see how it goes. Oop, let's unlock from our vehicle. Okay, nice chunk of armor removed straight away. That's good. Doesn't seem to have smoke defense. So that's very pleasant to see. Ooh, we are also taking chunks of damage, though. I'd love to be closer to the enemy. I think range is definitely more favourable for them than for us. Our weapons lose too much damage. Saying that, they are missing quite a few shots because of this, and it is making me think shields might be a better idea. We'll wish you'd hit those weapons. You know what? Okay, a little bit of manual fire here. I'm going to change my lasers now to fire at the cannons. Plasma, you can do whatever you want. Wish you'd stop going for the superstructure with no weapons on it, though. That would be really nice. It's hard to tell if I'm actually doing enough damage to disable these. The plasma would be better. You know what, then? Fine. Full manual control. I don't want to lose here. Let's go for those weapons. Please. Okay, a few hits there. Did I disable that middle one? Yes or no? Oh! It's sinking! What have we done? You know what? I apologise for questioning the wisdom of the AI. We apparently are focused mostly on sinking this thing. Fine then. Full AI control. Clearly it knows better than me. Sink the thing. It could have just been the weather. No, it's definitely a bit low in the water. It's also struggling to aim now. Okay, I think I have... hello, auto-aim. What are you... Oh, don't aim for that missile. It's going for a distraction missile. Okay, I need to give it a maximum range then, clearly. Maybe we destroyed one of its AIs, I guess. I'm sorry for questioning the AI. Our AI overlords know better than me. Now, do I go straight into a red portal and straight into difficulty 55 is the question. We are now kind of where I want to be in terms of the cost of enemies, but I would like to fight more expensive things. I might do. Let's just use the money we get from this first. Well, I've decided we're going to go through the blue portal. The reason is, after that last kill and then the plane, we now have almost 200,000 resources saved up, so our cost is going to go to something like 600,000, so the red is no longer good enough. We're going to be heading off to difficulty 70. On the upside, this will allow me to have a complete overhaul of my weapon systems. I think the laser system is nowhere near good enough anymore, in addition to a lot of other things, and we can finally decide on our final weapons. Do I go plasma cannon? Do I go railgun? Do I double down on plasma? It is nice to use plasma this time around, and very spicy. We will see. So then, I'll be back in the sandbox mode, finishing off the craft, really. Okay, so here we are in the sandbox mode. So this is going to take a few hours. It's going to be a major retrofit since we have 200,000 resources to play with. What I'm going to be doing is removing the laser system completely along with these terrible missiles and then redoing them elsewhere. I'm going to be removing this main plasma because I'm going to be bringing down the centerpiece like I have on the top section here. So I'll bring it down like I've built up the centerpiece on the top. That way we can have a lot more armor and also a lot more internal space. I also then need to remove some of the internals, which are like this here. This is where the old hull used to be, and I've just kind of built on top of it. This all needs to be replaced and redone so our armor is actually proper, and also some engine space needs to be made. Then, design work. I still don't know if I'm going to go Super Star Trek with this, or go just my own custom style, or what. Why is the music so intense? Anyway, I'll be back in a couple of hours for me, a couple of moments for you. In case you ever wonder why I don't end up using the footage from all the different changes I'm making between the different versions of the craft, it's because the footage is basically unusable. I just tried to make a time-lapse, just removing little sections like this, re-adding the walls, and I'm about to remove all this section, and the footage is just completely unusable, because it can be difficult to figure out exactly what I'm doing, so lots of pauses, lots of jerky movements, it's just a nightmare to watch. So just be thankful all this gets smoothed out later. Removed the two side sections, removed the back little fin. We're now expanding it like this. This will be a lot of empty space for the time being, but it's loads of space to add more stuff later. I'm going to be dragging this bit a bit further back, so it's a command section that actually looks like a proper one, which will be connected to a new fin section, which should be a bit smaller, a bit less pronounced. And then I think I will add some nacelles to the side of the back section here. So draw this a bit further back, but thin. Then two nacelles, which will go partially under the main body here and go further back. These will hold engines and stuff like that. Then, once this is further back, this kind of heightened area will go further forwards before dropping off near the front and hopefully having a nice pattern or glass or something here at the front, so no more weird face looking at us if it's two sad eyes. I think that will work. Now, this is a lot of visual changes, but functionally all the engines and everything in the same place. The weapons have been removed but are being replaced, just better. So it's still the very much the theme of the craft. It's just more future-proof, less layers upon layers of random. If there were more enemy spaceships, this is where I'd add a plasma cannon, this front section. So yeah, I think that's good enough for now. We are going to be expanding it again later. I do kind of want to smooth it out a bit more in the future, but for now, sure, this is the main kind of shuttle area on the front. Just need to change up the command section and then do this back section. Then we can start re-adding the weapons and everything else. It's like someone's trying to draw a Federation ship from memory, because they are. This thing looks like a really, really weird version of Voyager at this point. So, it's very alien as well, lots of blues and everything else, and I want it to look more Zinch and corrupt as time goes on, obviously, so I think that's going to be okay. I don't know where I want to put the back section here. Do I want them above or below? Do I want them more on the level? I don't know what I'm doing. So, from designs in my head, I think a more angled version of this would look better, but I think this is going to be way easier to defend since I will be having vital components in these. I don't want them to be there purely for looks. I'm also tempted to have 4 of them rather than just the classic 2, but for now, 2, then we need to start retooling the actual core of this craft. The core of the craft is still there, it's still the craft really, it's just in a new shell at the moment, and that needs to be drastically improved. Okay, we're almost done now. We have a new main weapon, so it is still a plasma cannon. However, this thing is, I think, one of the best ones I've built in a while. So it fires every 5 seconds and can do over 200,000 damage depending on where it hits. Since plasma essentially damages a block and then spreads through that block to everything attached, it's really dependent on the strike site, but as you can see, this is a difficulty, I think 90 enemy we've seen before, the Thresher Shark, and it can just core out huge sections very, very easily. And since it's firing every 5 seconds, it's also very reliable, since if it misses once, it doesn't really matter, another shot is arriving in 5 seconds time. It's not the most powerful thing ever, but it is definitely a decent main weapon in my opinion, especially since we're going to be seeing enemies likely cheaper than that. That was a 800,000 craft. The problem is, it's very expensive for its size, so all of this extra hull I've built, yeah, you may notice a lot of liminal space in here. Obviously, I haven't finished the armor in here. This is just the shell for the most part, except for a few layered sections here and there. but at least we have loads of space to build. The last thing I've done is I've changed the PIDs. I've made them really weird in that they don't really care too much about their accuracy or trying to maintain a height, so we're going to be bouncing between around about 1,400 altitude and 1,600. This will give us a tiny little bit of innate dodging without any effort and without compromising our aim or anything like that. Other than that, we're almost good to go. Just need to finish off the armor and finish off a few secondary systems. I'm also tempted to make a lot of this turret invisible because I really don't like it, but it is also pretty well defended. Oh yeah, pitch systems also need to be installed. This chunk houses the main plasma, these tiny chunks house the baby plasma. Honestly, they're only a couple layers thick because I don't really have the resources to completely armor up everything at the moment. We are now in difficulty 70, there's a red portal right there, so I'm going to be waiting around until something spawns in. Otherwise, I'll use the adventure bell. I just don't like using the adventure bell because the odds of using the adventure bell and then another thing spawn in and they fight each other is way too likely. But I'll still wait around for maybe 10 minutes. Just bobbing up and down in space. Well, I just heard shots. What did I just fire at? I can't see a red. There it is. Where is it? Not really what I wanted to see, honestly. Off. I don't think it'll even be able to get to us because it uses regular jet engines and we're in space. Yep. So you're what's making the average go down so much in this difficulty. Okay, we have an enemy, and I've just realised I was holding on to the turrets, that's why they didn't fire first. Well done me, I am a genius. What do we have? Ooh, what are you? The Retaliator. That's a lot of guns. I guess just, yeah, full AI control. Hope for the best. Don't know why those main guns aren't targeting me. They should be able to see me very easily if they're targeting the shuttle. There we go. Oh, no, never mind. They're still not online. I don't understand why they're not firing, to be completely honest. I mean, I guess I shouldn't complain too much, but still. Yeah, those shots are doing nothing. Why are you not firing? I get I'm in space, but clearly you can see me, so... Unless that first shot took out an AI, but I doubt that, right? The AI won't be there. Yeah, surely the AI is going to be in... Ooh. Love the white flyer style. I'd assume somewhere in the center anyway. So I've changed the main cannon now to fire 20 charges per shot, so it's pretty much consistent damage, and actually I think this is better. At least this was a good test subject, but yeah, it's such a shame it couldn't fight back. I think it really could have won. I don't know why it didn't. I am honestly very confused. Oh, wow. Okay, so this one can definitely see me. Oh, I just thought, now I've got burst fire with the main gun, I need to increase its cooling. Otherwise, yeah, there's a certain level of inaccuracy at long distances. Still, I am mostly hitting. But I want them all to hit in a very, very short area. Short area? Close area. Just keep on going for the base itself, as tempting it is to fire at that gun. See, that's what I wanted to see. When they all hit the same area, it's going to tear apart the outer armor and then do some internal damage as well. That is so much better when it actually hits. I think it's because I'm closer now. I don't even want to know the amount of damage that thing's doing to me. Oh, that is so good when it all hits. Just utterly shreds. Yeah, I'm letting it cool between volleys now, so I let go for a little while, let it cool, and then fire again. Okay, it's messed up its weapon. That is so nice. Okay, gonna try and reverse a bit because I think it's trying to go underneath us. I want to stay where I am currently because the accuracy is beautiful. And it's let go of the main gun. That is everything done, I think. It has some missile systems, but the particle cannon was, of course, the main thing. Okay, let's see how much damage that's done to us. I'm assuming a lot. Yeah. Is it a pierce shot? 'Cause I can't see much damage on the outside, so I'm assuming it's going through. No, it's hard to tell, actually. As you can see, I've used most of the resource from that last fight to armor up, and that's exactly what I'm going to do from this fight as well, and then I'll go to the next difficulty. Okay. It is a shame about the last fight, but at least we had this one, which was a fair fight, and it was very, very fun. Definitely keeping this gun on its rapid fire setting, even if the accuracy is going to be a bit of a problem. Where is the engine on this thing? That's its laser system, so at least it's nice and vulnerable, easy to do a lot of damage to. But where's the engine? Well, I can never find the engine, end up killing the thing before finding it. Love that. Such a satisfying attack. Another one of the same style. This done with a very large advanced cannon. Which honestly is a lot scarier to me. Same as before, I think. Just go for the base and hope it lets go. We're a lot further away this time, though, so my accuracy is... well, it did something. I was going to say compromised. I've also slowed down the speed of the plasma shots. This way, it's generating less heat per shot, and hopefully that will retain our accuracy a little bit more. Last time was after the engines, because clearly those were powering the plasma cannon. This time, I don't... Oh, it's the rockets! What's gone wrong with the rockets? I must have damaged their missile system. It's caused them to break. So really, I should just fire here. There you go, now we're closer. Once again, the plasma is fantastic. And broken. Okay. That one definitely did more damage to us, though. I saw some huge explosions from the first few shots. Oof. And the gun's dropped, and the fight is over. In the sandbox mode, I've just quickly added an anti-munition defense system to the craft. It's a laser system costing around about 90,000. Okay, starting to struggle a bit now, which is understandable, and... Okay, that was great. Okay, a couple more. Those all had reinforced bodies. Those are just medium missiles, though. Still, that went fantastically. Perfect. That stopped all damage from all of those missiles. Wonderful. Okay, all I need to do now is make sure my engines are okay, actually sort out our armor fully, and then I'll go back into the adventure mode and go straight to difficulty 75. So still no more weapons, but at least a bit more defense. So the next thing I need to add is a true secondary weapon, and then some shielding. First enemy of difficulty 75 apparently really likes his lasers, and bobbing around so much even our plasma can't hit it. Okay, one hit. Yay. Ooh, look at you. The rectifier. Wow, that seems almost completely designed to be anti-air. Not good for us. Or anti-space, I guess, in our case. Okay, so it gets closer, though. We're going to score more hits. Our own missiles are trying to chase it down, but that thing is quick. Look at the speed of that thing. Okay, anti-missiles doing fantastically, stopping the enemy missiles. Scoring a lot of hits now, up to 373k damage. If we can take down this thing's engines, it's game over. What do you mean I can't aim in that direction? Yes, I can. Weird. Oh, going out of control. Okay, we've done something already. In fact, it's slowed down a lot, so much so my plasma missed, because it was expecting it to move faster. Oh. wonder what we broke. What a chaotic first fight. Well, the anti-missile systems proved very, very valuable. The lasers didn't quite get through our stacked armor. Great. Glory to the chosen of Tzeentch. You knocked off the Tzeentch logo! How did you do that? Well, it did a bit more damage than I expected, honestly, but we're still fine. Okay, I want at least one more fight here before we move on, though now we have a lot of resources to spend, and I'm not entirely sure what I want to spend them on right now. Already added a basic missile system. These things are just medium missiles. They're cruise missiles, so they go a nice long distance. They don't really pack too much payload. Our armor still stood up pretty well during that fight, so... yeah, what next? Guess I could... no, the advanced cannon I want, the railgun's going to be quite big, and it's going to remove these two front guns, probably. One thing which I think could be fun is a couple of side vehicles, which I hold using tractor beams and a set of turrets, which they themselves hold plasma cannons or particle cannons. That way they can turn nice and easily. Not too sure, though. Okay, a twin guard craft is here. Our missile's actually struck, which is really nice to see. I've missed every single plasma shot, so I'm just waiting right now until we get closer. It did have lasers. Did the EMP actually take out the lasers? That would be really impressive against Twin Guard. I tend to find they're pretty good versus EMP and that kind of stuff, though I might be mistaken. Okay, well, close enough to get strikes now. I think we must have simply taken out its lasers. That's ridiculous. Yeah, none of them are firing at us. They're all just not even bothered. They were firing at us at a very long distance and not really doing much, but yeah, apparently the EMP missiles, the first time they've actually been useful. I do love plasma weapons. They're so expensive and not the most devastating of things, but so satisfying. That was lag then. Is there another target? Yep, okay, stop. Oh, another one of you. Okay. Well, sadly then you won't fight each other, but it looks like this first target's basically offline anyway, so... fight you, then I'll go to difficulty 80. Ow, 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 ow. Well, a couple of EMP shots actually managed to hit, but not that much. Oh, that was a perfect set of plasma, though. That internal section just went bye-bye. Maybe I'll just double down on the plasma and make a secondary plasma cannon the same as the first. I just really enjoy it. Okay, well that's them down as well. Victory. Oh, missile's just getting through since I haven't protected the back section of the craft. Oh, that's my bad. In the sandbox mode again, because we ended up with over 300,000 resources at the end there. In fact, quite a lot more since most of it was still on the ground. I don't want to have too many resources moving forwards, and I can't see another blue portal. So I'm going to spend all that resource now, then rush through the red portal, which will take us to difficulty 80? Would it be? Or 85? I can't remember. But either way, we need to get moving soon. So here's something we could go with. There we are. Very low gauge, very rapid fire heat shells shot from a railgun. These are going around about 1,500 meters per second, and as you can see from the stuff falling underneath, it causes massive internal damage. We've done 2 million damage? What? Okay, now normally heat shells are much better with larger shells, honestly, but I just love this style of just constant bombardment and disruption. Once again, going with the whole Tzeentch thing, disrupting targets rather than just outright destroying them. So that steam engine's gone, the missile's gone, a lot of stuff just obliterated if I just manual fire for a second to aim at the gun. Oh wow, look at how fast that damage is racking up, and we're up to 1 million again. If this thing hits an AI or something, obviously it just instantly stops the fight. And it costs far less energy than I expected. I'm watching the energy go down, it's so much slower than the plasma. So, for those who don't know, HEAT stands for High Explosive Anti-Tank, and it means that essentially what's happening is the shell is hitting the outside and then causing a stream of fragments, or molten copper in this case, to go through the target. They don't do much damage each, but obviously the idea is it just stacks up. So it's super good at disabling vulnerable sections. Now, there are ways of making your craft quite heat-proof. I tend to do that because I'm always scared of heat shells myself. But even so, I find that this kind of bombardment is so hard to fully counter. It's also just incredibly fun. And that damage number is just very satisfying. So I think this is going to be our railgun. It's also very easy to upgrade. It's very easy to add more stuff to it. It's only 100mm. I tried the 250 and the 500mm variants. I found the 500mm variant was the better of all of them, but I just found this one way more fun. Okay, so that's it. We're going to add a railgun then to the front of our craft in the form of a heat cannon. Although I will be keeping it on its own separate mainframe, just controlling this, because I don't feel like it's going to do as well as some other things at super long range. Very small shells tend to have a horrible drop-off. Cool. And then, of course, we have the plasma for just outright damage later on. And now, time to get to difficulty 80. Really, I'm just going to look for red portals a lot faster now, because we are getting way too much resource again. I am trying my best, and I think I'm okay for the average, but really want to get to 100 now. Perfect, okay, that's exactly what I wanted to see. So straight away, we can jump into difficulty 85 without a single fight. Oh, well, that's not something I really wanted to see as our first enemy here. That is the Extinction, which will make things like nukes, which I'm hoping, because they use normal jets, will actually be able to reach us. Just make sure we actually target the main body there and not just random parts of it. That would be ideal. Oh, I was holding on to the weapons. That explains that. Actually, you know what? Turn off our second weapon. We definitely want to try and get above this thing. I don't think it can fire directly upwards, and I think its turning circle isn't the best. Yeah, the nukes are classed as too high very quickly, and they just can't get to space because, again, normal jets. I'm hoping not. I mean, if they aim directly up, the sheer velocity could take them to us. I'm just hoping that's not the case. Yeah, they're not getting here. Great. So, you've damaged my missile system, so it targeted me. Cool, cool, cool. I'm guessing that's from one of the particle cannon rounds, which I assume is armor piercing. Sure, just fire the other weapon as well. It's pretty quick moving, so it'll take a long time for us to get to full speed. Here's hoping we take out the particle cannon then. They're very vulnerable to having like little parts taken away and then the whole system failing, so I'm hoping that's what'll happen. We did just hit it with EMP despite all the other problems. Oh, never mind, we are catching up. Did we stop it from moving by any chance? Wow, did we just get really lucky with the hits or something? I guess our whole craft is designed to disable targets more so than deal direct damage, so I'm hoping we have done something to break its brain. Ah, so much so we're overshooting it now because we're not nimble, because we are in space, and space is very difficult to be nimble if you're not very small. I think I've lost one of my barrels on the heat weapon, but still. I mean, that doesn't look healthy, does it? Go on, go into the water. You know you want to. Okay. Extinction down, I believe. Yeah, stop firing. There's no use to waste your ammo and energy. Cool. That was not a very graceful fight, though. The railgun really struggled with that one for some reason. I need to double check my detection systems. I may have messed them up while building, because it was aiming really weirdly. It should have been able to predict its movement a lot better than that. Oh, did I just break its steam engine? I may have just broke its engines. With flyers, if you take out the engine, a lot of time it is just game over. Oh, hello. Let's make sure you don't aim at the extinction, because that thing's not even fighting you anymore. And please aim at this beauty.
Engaging now.
The railgun may be reloading. Oh, no, it's firing. Good, good. No, I mean, he's hitting this one decently reliably. Oh, that was beautiful. Yep, that was the railgun. It caused the bat gun to detonate. Beautiful. What weapons does this thing have? I'm sure it fired missiles to begin with. I bet it doesn't like firing above itself. Yeah, I think that's the issue. Definitely has radar decoys, but let's see if the missiles hit this time. I wonder if it was the missiles which beat the extinction. How's the extinction's EMP protection? Oh, that's a wing gun. Oh, is that a parcel cannon? Oh, I see. You're a bomber. Well, that's unfortunate. We're a very annoying enemy. So I used the money from that previous fight to upgrade our batteries. I'm now on the lookout for another red portal. I want to go to 90 as soon as possible. Okay, a lot of missiles heading towards us. And I think it's probably close enough now. Let's activate the other gun. Oh, is this the same laser enemy from earlier, which didn't actually use lasers? Oh, can it just not fire upwards? But I'm sure it shot me once from a very, very large distance, so maybe then the angle was okay. Oh, wow, well, are you just showing how much we encounter things by being in space? I've got to be honest, I think this is one of the weaker oh, red portal. Is that underwater? Anyway, I think this is actually one of the weaker designs I'm bringing into the higher difficulties, if I'm being completely honest. Not in sheer cost, but in sheer power level. But we're also having one of the easiest times, considering the whole point of this run was just to showcase how easy space really is, or at least have a look, see if it is that easy. I'm okay with that. I do love the plasma gun, though. Maybe I need to make those railguns a little bit faster. The shots seem to miss a lot. I double-checked all of our detection systems, and they are working like they were earlier, so I think it's just a matter of very small shells being fired from space. Can be a bit wonky. Well, I think this is pretty much doomed at this point. I think that's the last section which is actually still functioning in terms of missiles. So you know what, I'm going to manually target that. And I'm going to stop our engines. I want to go through this red portal as soon as this fight's over. Oh my god! Okay, well this thing certainly has lasers. That thing is cooking us alive, which is not ideal. So I'm guessing this is one of the largest of the, wow, Lightning Hood's craft. Might want to take over manual control just to aim at that turret, honestly. Because that is horrifying. Well, Mev did it. Yep, that's the railgun coming in clutch there. It's caused some internal damage to that gun, and the gun is now offline. That was it. Sometimes it can look like absolutely nothing is happening, but those internal bits of damage from the heat can be just game-breaking. So even are you? Exegel. Yeah, so I've broken loads of connections in here, you can see from the heat. And yeah, actually I think that's it. It's just lost its connection with the turret. Fantastic. What damage that thing just did. Look at the armor it's gone. Need some more railgun charges on this thing, I didn't quite realise, but I guess it makes sense since I've upped the speed of the shells recently. The plasma's opened it up and you can really see all the little disconnects everywhere where the heat's got through. Imagine how powerful larger shells are at doing that. Rather than the rain of death, which I prefer. Oh, one of you! Okay, I just saw one of your shots fly by. Well, this is going to be mean, because I'm kind of above you already. Also, I was just working on adding a weaponized laser system. It's simply tapping into the same lasers, which is also our munition defense, but now I can manually fire it at the enemy as well. Now, of course, the enemy has a lot of smoke here, so it's not doing that much, but still. Not the nicest fights in 90, but it is showing why space is overpowered, and again, that is the whole point of this run. So, I'll probably be seeing you all in difficulty 95 very soon. Just for reference, this thing is absolutely deadly, and one of the designs I respect the most in the game. And I feel dirty right now. No rest for the wicked, though, I suppose. Hello there, new enemy. How you doing? I have lasers now. Oh! That's where all the shots are going. I was really confused then. Okay, normally I'll probably edit out all that silence, but honestly, yeah, that's how long it took me to realise, where are all the other guns? Let's make that go pop instead. Okay, well, the laser system is clearly all tapped out now. It's not designed for long duration combat like that, but still. Looks like I've broke this thing though for the most part. Yay for loads of disabling weapons. That being said, there's still the other scary thing. Thank you very much.
Engaging now.
Thankfully, we have loads of resources. So many fights in this difficulty. One of which started off by drowning, which was weird. Just keep on setting off all the smoke. There we go. Its missiles simply can't catch up with us, which is really nice to see. This thing, though, is taking a very long time to fight. Still can't believe we fought something else in the background, though I've got a sneaking suspicion its missiles were targeting that Steel Strider craft the entire time, so it's probably not us really defeating it, but more it. Well, there goes one of its turrets. What a weird fight. So, a little bit later, yeah, we may have fought this to a standstill. I'm still able to fire EMP at it, and honestly, it is still taking damage, and I think if I swap the EMP for explosive or fragment, we should win this. The problem is, it's fought us to such a standstill, I don't know how I'm going to recover health-wise. Jeez, this thing doesn't want to go down. So close, though, now. I think just a couple more volleys and we're done. Victory versus a good few amount of enemies all at once. Oh, there's another enemy straight away. My god, difficulty 90 has been hostile. Okay, defeat this thing, get its resources. That should hopefully allow us to fully repair. Then run to the next difficulty, I guess. Just for now, it's going to pop down a couple of these then. Just to make sure I do get 100% of the resource when it eventually does fall. Which should be soon. Oh, okay, there we go. Finally low health. What's the other enemy anyway? It's not been attacking us. So much so it caused my stamina to trigger. Only 107,000. That is not enough for a full heal. Oh, another one of you. Ooh, your brain be hurt. Change of plan. Heal up. Attack the basking nope, another enemy spawning in again. Run full speed. Just run full speed. All of your engines on. Thankfully, my engines are still okay, so have my thrusters. I'm just going to try and get out of here. Just outspeed them. We're already at 82 meters per second. Get out of here as soon as possible. Heal up as much as I can. Sacrifice some parts to heal the functional components. Yeesh. So a slight change of plan. This basking shark is the one we fought earlier. I didn't realise. It's horribly damaged and unable to fight back. Its vulnerable sections are exposed. If we get close enough to this, we can take it out and get another 100, maybe 200,000 resources before we go through the red portal. That means we'll have 400k, which I think is enough for a full repair. Well, it took ages, but there goes the basking shark. However, the great white is now catching up with us. Thankfully, it's very slow, and its missiles are very short range by the looks of things. This laser is not that strong, especially since half the system is currently damaged. But if we can take out these anti-munition defenses, our missiles are cruise missiles, we could just kite this thing, take it out, and then we definitely get a full repair for difficulty 95. So what I've done is I've removed the front cannon, so we don't have the advanced cannon anymore, so no more railguns, sadly. But that's allowed me to pretty much fully repair everything else for us to fight the Great White here. The Great White seems to be really struggling with range, and because of that I'm just taking out its turrets. That way it won't be able to fight us when it does eventually get closer, if it does indeed get closer. I'm also really rethinking the railgun anyway. In theory, I thought it was loads of fun, but in practice, it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I also saw some weaknesses in our armor, which I haven't seen before, because honestly, we haven't been hit that much. And I simply thought I'd built it correctly, when I actually hadn't. So again, showcasing why space is good, until it isn't. Okay, next we just need to go for its munition defenses and its missiles, and then it's pretty much unable to fight back. A nice big chunk of resource, so we can retrofit and then go to difficulty 95. Everything turned out well in the end. Where are your vitals? Oh, they're cram cannons! It's amazing I didn't even notice that. Of course you weren't firing them then. I thought they were advanced cannons, to be completely honest. Okay, finally, and now we can retrofit and go to the next difficulty. Okay, after that last kill and one resource zone, I'm ready to go to difficulty 95. I have completely stripped away the advanced cannon now. I've massively improved the missile system, so it's no longer kind of horizontal, which I know was a silly thing, but I just really liked how it looked. And I have massively upped the strength of the lasers. This means these tiny little turrets, which I very hastily built, will be doing a lot more damage if I use them, and our defenses are massively increased. Well, with that, time to up the difficulty once again. We have our first enemy, and it's a sub. Well, bugger. Since it's underwater, instantly I'm going to be doing less damage to it, so do as much damage as I can right now and then just run, I guess. It is the blackcurrant. Every single weapon I have doesn't want to be fired underwater. Definitely shows how much of an improvement the laser system has, though, since it's still hurting it even with the massive damage negation. If I'm correct, the blackcurrant's AI is like where I'm currently targeting, since I have killed the AI on this thing before, using cram cannons of all things. Still dealing damage. If I broke anything vital, it's so hard to tell. Its missiles are going to be hitting us really soon, so just keep on going. I think it has cruise missiles, so running away is going to be difficult but not impossible, I think. Just going to up my speed quickly. Oh! I killed it! I didn't know I'd killed... Never mind, laser systems are the best. Thank you. Run away, run away, run away. Munition defense normally would work great, but I've just used up all of the power in the laser systems attacking the enemy. Dodge, 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 dodge! Ow! Oh, they're running out of fuel. We killed a sub. I am going to improve my engines and laser system purely because of that fight. So it does have some smoke defense, but can't cover everything since it uses its own lasers, so let's try and go near the lasers themselves. See if we can give this thing a bit of a lobotomy. I don't know how strong its lasers are. I'm assuming they're also anti-munition stuff, so maybe we should go for the actual turrets. There goes one. Okay, it has missile distractors. Hopefully our signal processors are strong enough. Yes, they are. Which means, oh, that is beautiful. Just drifting into the enemy there. And I think it's going into the water. Yep, down it goes. I think that's its engines taken out. AI dead. Yep, an actual lobotomy. Beautiful. Let's keep on improving our lasers. There's one last enemy before we go to difficulty 100, and I've just been melting it away slowly with the lasers. It did have smoke defense, but now it's mostly gone, I think. Look at the block confetti we're leaving behind. I've just been mostly firing for the core, honestly. I'm only just now zooming in. So much heavy armor to try and chew through. Maybe I should change the lasers as well from continuous to a Q switch. I think that'll be more efficient, but I do like the continuous lasers, even if they're not the most accurate. I thought I was going towards it, I now realise I'm going away from it. That's why none of my missiles have hit. Oh, and no wonder it's so inaccurate and our damage isn't very high. I didn't realise we were at this distance. Still, it seems like neither of us really gained an advantage from the distance, so it's fine. Now we're nice and close, the damage is drastically increased. Again, not really too sure where to fire to finish this, but we are very close. I think I'm taking out the steam engine now. Just filling up any spare sections I have in the craft now with lasers at this point, so yeah, going to go more heavily into the storage, so lots of the laser storage cavities, because we don't really have enough space for more engines, but But I think this is a good idea. We could be spending this on plasma or a better railgun or something like that, but I feel like this is very fitting for the whole space theme, and it should be a lot of fun. And now to connect this to the main two systems. Apparently one last enemy before difficulty 100. I was just about to go through the portal. Oh, hello, Thresher. Let's go for the center and hope for the best. I thought you would have smoke. Oh my god. You know, lasers are probably the most easily counterable weapon in the game, and I now know why. That was fun. Okay, I'm just going to keep that resource for repairs and everything else. We're just going to go straight into difficulty 100 anyway. Now, like I was saying, I just set up the thing. Let's go. Okay, I've just double-checked my detection system and everything else. I've hooked up the lasers finally to the AI, which means now I can actually just let them fight all by itself. And we are now in difficulty 100. Let's see what I end up fighting. Please don't be the Event Horizon again. I have lost too many times to it. Anything else is very welcome. Okay, first difficulty 100 enemy is just a Thresher Shark. That is what this one's called, isn't it? I've been calling it that the entire time. Yes. Well, that's gonna be over pretty quickly, I imagine, just like before. I'll wait around until something else spawns in. At least, technically speaking, I've now won the game because I've beaten something in difficulty 100. I apparently have also built one of our new engines wrong, because of course I have. That's what happens when you don't get to test things. Another one. Well, I'm gonna have a full storage of resource at least for a proper fight. Now, I feel like I'm being mean. The Thresher Shark is an awesome design. It really is. It's just, it doesn't have smoke defense. And it's small. It's small and compact, which we kind of counter. Kind of. We completely counter. Okay, we have the next enemy, and you are kidding me. It's another Thresher Shark. What are the actual odds? Can someone tell me the odds of this? There are so many designs it could be. Oh, that's not fair. The Thresher Shark was merely a distraction. That's a Megalodon. Almost 2 million resources worth of pain. And now my laser systems aren't fully charged. Not that it matters too much, I suppose. It does have smoke defense for the start of the fight, but still. Distraction sticks are up. Anti-missile systems are out. Our own missiles, I'm hoping. Yep, they've changed target. They were going for the Thresher Shark there before it finally vanished. Still, what are the odds of that? 3 Thresher Sharks in a row. Yeah, those first missiles are definitely not going to hit because they were after something else first. Okay, start reversing. We want to try and stay above the target if possible. It does mean the enemy's missiles will hit us more likely, but it also means we're in a really good position to hurt its vulnerable sections, honestly. Okay, half our missiles are being distracted, the other half are still hitting the target, that's fine. Don't really know where I want to hit, to be completely honest. The turret caps, I guess, but there's also the missiles, which are terrifying. Why is it not firing the lasers? It should do. The AI's there, and obviously I can manually control and fire them, so they're still there. Guess I'll manual fire it since it's turned off for some reason. Looks like we're probably winning anyway, even before I took manual control. And honestly, it's still a smoke defense, so it isn't really doing anything. Plasma's done over 1 million damage now. Looks like its munition defenses are now completely offline, so that's great to see. And missiles are mostly cruise missiles though, so their actual payload isn't great, but they're super long range. Considering just scrapping the EMP, I haven't seen it do anything useful in ages. Things are just way too EMP protected. Oh, we're doing laser damage, so I guess that's our munition defense against its missiles. We've just scratched the outside so horribly. Now realising having no weapons which penetrate armour is leading to this quite a lot. I've just flattened it. Still, a definite victory at this point versus the Megalodon. So, yay for a non-Thresher Shark after another Thresher Shark. Would have gone better if we had all of our ammo and fuel and energy reserves at full, but yeah, wasted it all on the first fight. Can you please hit here just a couple of times? Those missiles still hurt. They won't stop us now, but they still hurt. Okay, we were able to do a full repair, so I found out what it was. The Megalodon managed to take out the local weapon controllers for the two laser turrets, which I had not protected well enough. I have now double armored them. The Hypernova. This one may be completely useless against us. I don't think it can fire... Oh no, it can fire up with its lasers. Oh, can it point towards us? Never mind then, I was just outright correct. Incorrect, rather. Kind of wish the laser was targeting somewhere else, but I'm trying to use manual controls a little bit less here. But if that was going for the core, this would be way more effective. Does it use particle cannons? Or okay, there's all the munition defenses. Good to know that does stop its laser from firing though, so our missiles, if nothing else, are completely stopping it from hurting us too much. That laser is sitting in the worst possible space. It's just hitting a big chunk of heavy armor. Don't feel like we're really doing much to each other, honestly, at this point. Just turn a bit, just to keep trying to go directly towards it. Keep firing our missiles, keep firing our plasma, lasering the wrong spots. We should have a victory from this, I imagine. There we go, the plasma's hitting the right spots, at least. Looks very cool from space. And we have a victory. Was that the plasma, the EMP? Not too sure. But still, the lasers, which are now the bulk of our cost, did pretty much nothing. Are the Steel Striders just the only faction that wants to kill me today? Is that another Megalodon? That is another Megalodon, of course. At least this time all of our reserves are at full, so we can actually do a little bit better, I imagine. Smoke's still causing loads of problems for us. You know what? Actually, let's turn off our lasers for offense then, and we'll just focus on protecting ourselves against the enemy missiles. Which aren't currently in range. Never mind, keep draining its smoke. I mean, definitely cleaner fight. I don't think the Megalodon is fighting back at all now, except for the missiles, which are currently out of range. Yeah, the EMP is doing nothing. Way too many surge protectors. Surge protectors and just good building practices. I have no idea where this thing's AI is. We turned it into a canoe and it still had its AI. Oh, maybe here? I honestly don't know. The Crucible. Oh, although it's got an underslung cannon, it was still able to fire at us for a short while. Are we heading towards it still? Yes, we are. Excellent. Those lasers, I'm certain, are also anti-munition, so I'll stop firing at us once our missiles get a bit closer. Still firing its cannon, which isn't ideal for us. But if we can get a little bit higher up, yep, there we are. That's a 2 million resource target, and once again, just being above the target is such a major, major benefit in this game. Even if you're not in space, just being a high-end flyer. A high-end, a high-altitude flyer will do very much the same thing. Yep, looks like the cannon's down. The fight's pretty much over. The damage when the enemy doesn't have smoke is just so pleasant. That was the Hypernova. It did have lasers. I think this will be the last fight of the day because it's a very big scary thing, but also this is taking up way too much time at this point, and I'm sure this video is already incredibly long. So this main craft is 1.3 mil, 64, 103. Okay, this thing's very expensive. We are currently at 1,650,000. Still, obviously very expensive. I don't know what I want the laser to fire at here. So obviously it can annihilate these side sections, which will require repairing from the main body, which will be a lot of materials, and also, of course, turning off what I assume are going to be particle cannons. So that's probably alright. I'm hoping that our plasma, though, fires more at the core. The missiles will definitely go for the core, since they just go for the biggest thing. Okay, now the lasers decided to go after that instead, which isn't ideal, actually. Since it has smoke defense. You know what? Manual control, just the lasers. I'm going to be destroying the side pods. Or at least damaging them enough that I'm thinking they'll be offline. Look how many blocks just get annihilated off of that. Okay, let's have a look, see what we're doing. So where's its weapons? Okay, so it's got lots of railguns. I don't know what the main body's doing, though. Okay, it stopped all our missiles in its tracks. In their tracks, rather. Oh, are these shields? Oh, that's really cool. Never mind, these aren't particle cannons. These are shields at the front. One of our lasers is down. Plasma's still hitting the core, though, which is exactly what I wanted. Just keep damaging them enough they can't actually fire, and that should keep us relatively safe. Is there smoke in the... Yep, still smoke in the center, but we are through the outer armor, so that laser is hitting vitals. Which, of course, have far less health, so even through smoke, doesn't need to do 100% damage to damage them. Don't let the side weapons fire. Healing them takes materials, which subtracts from the main body. Missiles are still being stopped, but those fragments are still doing damage. Like, not much damage, but damage is damage. I've only just realised there's a huge cannon at the back, which somehow I didn't see until this moment. Okay, how are we looking? We're still taking quite a few hits. Look, our armor's being shredded. Wow, yeah, our armor's being shredded, but not enough. Our vitals are still here. Only one of our lasers got took out. Probably just from a very unlucky hit there. Still able to take out our missiles, though, with ease. The plasma's still coming crashing through, though, so that's doing loads. Over 2 million damage now by the plasma. Wow, it can just annihilate our missiles. Yeah, it has anti-munition missiles and lasers, so it's both. Oh, we just dropped that one. You dropped your kid, mate. And thus, we can see that space is the cheesiest thing of all, and I now think I've proved that without a shadow of a doubt, and this is why I normally don't go into space during these games. I did not build a very good craft in this run, yet, by far, it's ended up being the most successful out of all of our runs. So, I'll be right back in the sandbox mode. I wish to fight the event horizon because I want to see who will actually win. I'm still thinking the event horizon because the event horizon is ridiculous. Either way, Lathrix wins! Okay, let's get humbled versus the event horizon. Our weapons are just not set up to fight this thing, and this thing scares me probably more than any other design. I will resist manually firing, which means we are going to be firing at probably not the best locations. Okay, to get a plasma hit straight away, so that's nice. Definitely has smoke defense, and there go all of those shells. That is just so much damage being lobbed at us. In fact, one of our lasers is already offline. I think the best bet for our victory, honestly, is the missiles more than anything else. The plasma can definitely... Ooh. Never mind. Did we get a good hit? Maybe the plasma's worth more than I expected. But really, the fragments, if they keep hitting the same spot, could potentially open up a hole and take out a vital. If they'll hit the same spot. If they were lure, or if we had set them up to be controlled by the AI directly, that could happen. But since they're random, and I don't want to change anything on the craft, it's very unlikely. Yeah, kind of just hitting all over the place on the front of the craft. Not where I wanted them to hit at all. Saying that, something happened then at the end. The plasma is doing some work. It's still firing though, but it does seem to be staggered more than it's meant to be. So clearly something's happened to the turret, but not enough. Just nowhere near enough. Really need those missiles to keep hitting the same location. Please go for the turret. It decided not to? Okay, I mean, that's still a lot of damage. That was nearly 1 million extra damage there, but let's have a look at our craft. It is not looking good. Okay, plasma's gone. The plasma's gone, and at least one of the missile silos has been completely obliterated. It was closer than I expected, but yeah, this isn't going to be a win. Any more missiles? A couple more, but not many. Oh, something happened! Something just happened. Major lag. I think I may have actually taken out the main weapon. Well, it's over. The fragments did it. The plasma opened it up. The fragments did the rest. However, I don't particularly want to call this a victory. Because all of my weapons, except for 2 silos, are offline. I can't even imagine how much internal damage that just caused. The missiles were honestly the victor there. So, the event horizon is 2,100,000 and a hard difficulty enemy. We are currently at 1.8 mil, so it did have 3,000 on us. Sorry, 300,000 on us. But still, the reason why it's a hard enemy, I guess, rather than godly, is because if you do get through to that turret, the whole thing detonates. And with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. So in my opinion, yes, being in space is really overpowered. It allowed us to armor up the bottom of the craft extremely while not focusing on the top at all, which, as you can see, didn't even get hit during that fight. It allowed us to stay out of range of a lot of weapons, out of just detection of other weapons, and ultimately, it allowed us to make a subpar vehicle do incredibly well. Space is easy mode, and I probably won't be doing it again, because even I find that a bit too cheesy. But it was so much fun. Thank you for watching, have a lovely day, I'm waffling, I need to get some sleep.